with the touch. So the Chicago Bulls with the win 126-116 over the Boston Celtics. Zach LaVine, Larry Markkinen combined for 77 points each with career highs. LaVine, career high 42. Markkinen with 35. It's the second 40-point game for Zach LaVine this season. That means a one unhappy Kyrie Irving with 37 points and 10 assists.
Some of the bad losses you had this year, where do you put this one?
No, just behind me.
Already?
Yeah, it's the NBA. Trying to get to the playoffs, so that's where the fun begins.
Kyrie, they're going on a 20-7 run to start the third quarter. Do you think you guys played with the? Was that more of a product of energy you guys brought out, or them knocking down shots?
No, they were just in the rhythm early. You know, Markkinen and LaVine. You know, so. They got it going in the first quarter, into the first quarter, and then kept it going throughout the whole entire game. You know, once a guy in this league gets it going, it's pretty hard to stop.
Is it starting to get to the point where you're concerned that the struggle that you guys have had will leak into the playoffs?
No, it'll be fine.
Why do you think that?
Because I'm here.
22 games left in the season. When does that urgency click on for you guys that, all right, we need to start getting it going? You know, before that playoff run starts.
They said, repeat that question one more time.
22 games before the playoffs start.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the sense of urgency needs to be? Is that a narrative that's overblown, or is that something you guys really need to do down the stretch here?
I don't know about any narrative being overblown, but you know, it's basketball, so got some figuring out to do. Go back, watch film. Obviously, some effort plays that you know we really could have covered for one another. You know, just execution on both ends of the floor. You know, being able to give each other space, make basketball plays, read plays, you know, and just play a game at a high level. You know, out of these last two games, we haven't done that at the level that we've been capable of. So, you know, we just got to continue to get better.
You guys have pointed pretty consistently to effort going up.
You said what?
You guys have pointed to effort going up and down pretty consistently through the year. Is there anything you can put a finger on as to why that happens, and what is there just a matter of flipping a switch and fixing it now?
It's game to game. I mean, we've beaten the tough teams in this league. I mean, you know, we've proven that we're capable of beating the tough teams in this league and playing well against them. So, you know, I'm not sure.
Is that part frustrating, Kyrie, that you guys seem to have played down to some of the level of the poorer teams, yet played inch for inch with the better teams?
Man, I don't get frustrated anymore, honestly. You know, this is just all part of our season of, you know, just learning one another. So it's just part of it.
It's all right if you miss shots, but tonight there were balls that bounced on the ground, rebounds that bounced on the ground. I mean, that's effort, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're right.
And that doesn't bother you or frustrate you?
I mean, you know, that's a choice that we all have to make. You know, and as a team, as a collective, I know we all, you know, have winning at the forefront of our mind. At least I hope so. And you know, you just go about it every single day the way you prepare and go out into the game and the lineups that we have and what we're doing, and you know, you just got to be able to adapt. And in this league, you know, the teams that adapt the quickest, or you know, they adapt at the right time, you know, are successful in the playoffs, as you know. So you know, we're still waiting for that thing to click where, you know, we've gone on 8 games, 6 games, 4 games winning streak, and then, you know, we'll hit a lull of 3 games, and then we're back answering questions like this. So you know, it is what it is. Like I said, I don't get frustrated about this stuff anymore. It's just part of the regular season, you know, in the playoffs when we could plan for a team, prepare for a team. You know, I still don't see anybody beating us in 7 games. So.
Kyrie remains confident, and he might be playing the best basketball. You see that? I dimed you right there. Look, 37 points, 10 assists. These are consistent stat lines we're starting to see from him. But there's this sound of, they're not where they want to be.
Yes.
5th in East.
Kyrie understands, obviously, being around LeBron, and he's a champion, what it takes to get to the promised land. But what you have to understand is New York, Cleveland, Chicago, Atlanta, not going to throw Washington because Washington's still trying to fight for a spot. These teams are already preparing for next year. So these young guys are going to come out like Markkinen and LaVine. They're going to come out and play hard every night and bring their best. Otto Porter now leaving Washington, coming to Chicago. Everyone's like, where does Otto Porter been? No, that's why Washington gave him all that money. He just, for whatever reason, just couldn't find his stride. Now, new uniform, new voice, new team. They're playing harder. So Celtics, Lakers, Kings, teams of that nature, you have to understand, those bottom teams, they're not just going to come in and lay down and let you get a good spot.
What do you think of Kyrie saying no team is going to beat them in a 7-game series? Let's stick to the Eastern Conference. Let's stick to that.
I think that's what he meant to say.
Yeah.
I think that's what he meant to say because in all right, if everyone's healthy, their team showed us last year how far they can go without him and Hayward. Now you add those two. If they continue to share the ball and play the defense we know they can play, not like tonight, I'm not mad at the comment.
Because when I hear that comment, I think of one team in the league that can say that with their chest out confidently.
Especially
Pacers get the win 119-112. LeBron James is free right now following the loss by the Lakers to the Pelicans.
You guys on Thursday dug a big hole and were able to climb out of it. What was the difference tonight?
You just said it.
What were the remaining parts of your game that you're still working to get back after the injury?
Nothing much. Conditioning still coming along. But other than that, I'm able to get them down the floor with no problems.
Consistency was a word that was mentioned by some of your teammates tonight in terms of the search for it. Obviously, there's been a ton of games already, and if it's still searching for it, is there enough time to find it?
I don't know. We just got to play better our next game in Memphis, but we're almost 60 games in, so I don't know.
Urgency was lacking tonight from the team?
From the start, yeah. It happened in the Houston game too. Just the start of the game and then the start of the third. That urgency, has to be there, and we dug ourselves a hole, once again in the third quarter tonight. But how many know what's at stake if you've never been there? I'm asking you too. I'm like, how do you know what's at stake if you've never been there before?
How you know I never been there before?
No, not you.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm not talking about you. I'm just like, kind of playing devil's advocate.
Right. The idea of trying to get to the playoffs. Now there's 23 games left.
Yeah, I mean, so it's kind of a fine line, when you talk about that because, when you've never been there or know what it takes to actually, shoot for something like that, and sometimes you're afraid to get uncomfortable. So you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I'm not saying that's what we are as a whole. Kind of looks that way at times. That sometimes we feel like we're afraid to be uncomfortable, kind of get out of our comfort zone. Have that sense of urgency, from the jump, and not be afraid to actually go out and fail to succeed. So, we have 23 games left. We'll see what happens.
Do losses now feel different than losses maybe earlier in the season?
For me?
Yeah.
No. See, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. See, it's like, I don't know. It's just been so last few years, everybody's so accustomed to the losses that I'm just not accustomed to. I'm not accustomed to it. I would never get comfortable with losing. So, losing game 1 to Houston, it feels the same way as losing game 59 in New Orleans for me. That's just how I'm built. That's who I am. Ask Dave. Dave will tell you who I am. He's been with me for the last few years. You guys are just starting.
The beginning of the game to the end. It starts with the stars and the second unit guys going to win. But we have to just have a sense of urgency. We have to challenge ourselves, challenge each other, and hold everyone accountable, really.
What's your just sort of bigger picture look at this team right now and where you are and then how you guys have to play down the stretch here?
We just got to get better. We just got to compete, play harder, make the extra effort. If something breaks down, we got to put out fires. That's something that we have to get better at. And we're a good defensive team. There's no way we should be giving up 40, 45 points in a quarter.
Hey, Josh, we know you had the injection over the All-Star break and you've been dealing with the knee tendonitis. How has it been since you've now played these couple games after the break?
It's better. It's not the PRP isn't a magical thing where I get injected with it and everything's good. I'm 100%. I'm getting better. I'm continuing to do the rehab, and hopefully soon it'll be 100.
Biggest things you focus on now heading to Memphis?
We just gotta compete. We just gotta play harder. Have attention to detail, and execute, and more so defensively. Offense isn't the problem. We're scoring 115, 120 points. We gotta get stops. We gotta not turn the ball over. We gotta get stops and rebound. I think that's what it is. At the end of the day, we have to challenge ourselves, and we just gotta take it personal each and every play.
Yeah, last thing for you. Is it, with other teams they're going to play hard too, is it tough sometimes if they get into a rhythm, and does that defensive way that you can play, or
let them get in a rhythm? Yeah. That's what it starts with. I mean, you can't wait for a team to hit you till you start playing. I mean, we got to do our best to make them uncomfortable, to win the line of scrimmage, to hit first. And it's tough in this league when you wait to get hit, and then you start playing. We just gotta we can't let teams get in a row. That's what it is.
Thanks, Josh.
Cool.
Guys, Josh Hart.
Oh, the race for the 8th spot in the Western Conference has gotten real serious. You see the Lakers at the bottom of this board. They're full 3 games back in the loss column, 3 games back at the Clippers in the win column. You're also looking at the Rockets. Even though they're in 5th place, they're still in this discussion right now. So 5 through 10 can flip-flop a lot. Let's go over to 3D. Man, you look at that, and you see the situation with the Lakers, 1 game under 500, so late in the season, not where they want to be.
Not where they want to be. They're struggling because the young guys don't understand when we say playoff mode. You look at the Kings, they're salivating to finally get back in the playoffs. It's been a lot of years. You saw the Jazz lose a tough one in overtime the other night at OKC. You saw the Spurs on the road lose a tough one to Toronto. So that 5 through 9 now for the last 20-some games are going to be nip and tuck all the way down the stretch. You got to make open shots. You got to play great team defense. And when in doubt, we always talk about role players. Well, the superstars have to be superstars down the stretch so the role players can help out.
And for the Lakers, as Karan broke down earlier, they're getting open three-point looks. They're getting quality shots, but they're not knocking them down. And then you heard Josh Hart and Luke Walton say it. On defense, they don't have a presence. They don't have an identity. It's very late in the season to not have that.
And you have to remind people that you go into the Big Easy thinking no Anthony Davis tonight, and you kind of let your guard down a little bit. Well, Julius Randle had a little bit of in his bag because he knew that the Lakers had let him go too early. So guys are going to bring extra to the game when a guy gets traded. And Drew Holiday once again reminded all of us he's been an all-star before.
As we see games conclude, we still have